Okay, we are live. Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and for me, it is good evening. Today is a very special episode of Waycraft. Before every single episode, my starting will be very easy, very normal, and I will probably give it back to the guest saying that, please introduce yourself. And that was the most easiest thing that I could actually do. But today's guest is somebody I have met once. Yeah, in the PSS event. But there are some connections which is deeply related to you, not because of person or personality, but sometimes the purpose takes the front. I see a lot of relevance in what this guest went through, and I'll put it this way. Some people are remembered for the heights they reached. Some people are remembered for the struggles they survived. But there are few who are remembered because they become a pole star, or they become an example, or they become a lighthouse for others while still carrying the same battle of theirs. Okay. So whether it is a physical battle or a mental battle or the journey battle is something which is debatable. This is a show like that. So welcome to Waycraft Together We Are. It is a podcast show where we put the person or our guest as our own reflection point. So I will probably say that when the light said stop, we bring people who said that to the light saying, no, not it. It's not stop. When the pain became a companion, the purpose became their medicine. When every reason to surrender came to them, they found one reason not to surrender, but to stand again. I think in that way, we are actually having one person who is strong enough to put vulnerabilities in front. And that's the strongest man, according to my version of life. He is not only strong to put his vulnerability, he has printed his vulnerability. He has published a book on it, which actually takes him in a much higher role of being a brave heart. So, Sudhir Pathak, I call him affectionately brother, my friend, Sudhir Pathak. Thank you so much for giving your time to Waycraft. Welcome your starting remarks and give a proper introduction about you, please.
Thank you very much, Satish, for the invitation. And a bigger thank you very much for a lovely introduction, which possibly you set up for myself. And I'm just thinking, what else do I need to say about myself now? But since you asked, Satish, I call myself a resilience expert. I'm a resilience expert. The printing which you were talking about, I'm also an author of the book, The Resilience Blueprint. And I I'm very passionate to help the leaders as well as the organizations to take steadier, calmer decisions when they are under tremendous amount of pressure. And that pressure could be of change, that could be of, I'll say adaptability needs, or that could be of turmoil as well, right? That could be an adversity as well. So I help leaders and organizations with that, Satish. I am also an AI leader. I work with IBM, and we are working a lot of things these days with artificial intelligence and DevOps. So that's also something which I do. There is something very close to my heart, which is my small little NGO wherein we now take care of nearly 500 kids from the slum areas of Pune. So that's why I said it's very near to my heart, because it's like those are still kids, but I took care of them like babies. We started with 5 kids, and today we have taken care of 500 kids. I just returned last month from a very very purposeful trip from Pune. So that's also something which I do, and I think it's very heartening to see on all the aspects, Satish. And this is beyond introduction. I'm just taking a few more minutes, right? That It's very heartening to see that resilience coming into the discussion in the leadership, even in the boardrooms and at the organizational level as well. It's not something which has stayed or remained as an individual trait. And that's my whole motto is, right? Because it is not a trait, and it is definitely does not sit with an individual. It requires system, it requires that collectiveness, it requires that inclusivity, and it requires compassion. Nobody talks about that. So it's very heartening to see that aspect of the side growing. It's very heartening to see how, after the way AI has took over in the last 2.5 years, it's very heartening to see that the human side of the thing is coming again in collaboration with artificial intelligence, and resilience again is playing a very key role there as well. And the third heartening thing to see is to see my kids growing and to see that transformation, that if you give people opportunities, if you give these little kids opportunities, you do not know what they are basically capable of. They grab it with both hands and they show it marvelously well. And I think I'm very thankful to God to giving to give me all those three dimensions of my work, and to bring a fulfillment within myself, Satish. So that's little introduction, and then going beyond the introduction.
Absolutely fantastic. And I'll add one more, probably since I'm following you and your post, his charitable organization, currently they are taking care of 500 kids, but their target, if I am right, so there in 2030 they want to go up to 5,000 kids. If yeah, so from wherever you are looking or listening to this, at whatever point in time, all you have to do is just pray God that let it be the wish come true. So that's the and every small wishes matters, because that is something which we have in common. We believe in those things. We believe in heart to hearts. Okay, Sudhir. So now let's keep all your accomplishment aside. In your book, at some point in time, I want you to talk about the book. Okay, but in your book, you have actually written how it, what happened in your personal life, etc., etc. So at some point in time, we'll come there. But I want to probably take the middle ground here and start. Something came to my mind just right now. What if I ask you, what is the personality of Sudhir is? What will come to your mind right now? Because everybody is asking, like, tell me something about yourself, means like everybody starts like, in your case, I work in IBM, blah, blah, blah. Let's say that control A, delete. Okay. What is your personality? Or what is your personality which comes to your mind right now, just now?
It's an excellent question, because it is making me think, right? And if I start introspecting and retrospecting as well, that okay, what is my personality? I think the first thing which I associate myself is that I am a person who is more than willing to help others, and this comes automatically. No, this comes automatically to such an extent that there was a time when my family members, my spouse used to say that you will someday get into a mess by just stepping in and to help anyone and everyone, right? But I think that comes very naturally. That comes very naturally to me, Satish. Apart from that, I'm I'm very grounded. I feel that I should always be knowing my roots. I should always be knowing that what hard work my parents did to bring me here. And I carry the same thing to my son as well now, that he should be, wherever he reaches in the coming years in his adulthood, he should be knowing his roots very, very clearly, right? So
Okay,
that
I think let's go deep. Why should somebody know the roots? And why should somebody stay to the roots?
why should somebody know the roots and stay to the roots? That's
Yes.
your question? Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, See, Satish, I have seen, right? And I have seen enough of people. Let me put it this way, okay? I'll quote some examples without naming people,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
I saw people in my childhood, they were around me and they lived in sheer poverty. They lived in an environment where their father, their mother, or their parents did a lot of hard work for their own survival. That was possibly their learning time, if they learned, or in the general language, let's say it was their bad time. The time changed, something good started happening, they started earning well, some businesses started running, and they their life started doing well. They had enough in the bank balances, they have enough in the materialistic wealth, etc. They have good in the real estate, and they started flying too fast, which is not wrong. But then they became so arrogant and selfish that they started harming people and started disrespecting the same kind of people whom they were in their childhood. So they possibly were doing it because they forgot their roots. They forgot where did they start from. And it is to me, when I visualize, when you were asking me what do you mean by staying connected to roots, it's like a tree standing somewhere in the air, but it has no base, there are no roots, right? It's like I feel it, something of that sort. So this person or these families or these people are like that only because you disconnected yourself with your roots, and ultimately you will die down in your own arrogance, in your own, I'll say, attitude which is on the wrong side. To me, that is why it is very important that you should know where did your journey start from,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely, and
that's my
and
that's my intention, Satish.
absolutely, and let me ask you. It's the same question, but I will ask you, just like, from this side I have asked, from this side I will try to ask, because let's say that we are not thinking crazy. Let's say that we are not going, what is the correct word for that? Out of the way. I think if our thought process is not out of the way, okay, then there are possibilities that we may not end up discovering or testing new avenues itself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So thinking and staying along the line of the roots, I should, okay. And now I got how to ask this question. I
uh,
want to be sticking to the roots, but I want to be a Elon Musk also.
yeah.
Okay. How do you think that that is possible?
Okay, let me tell you this way. You can be Elon Musk only you can be a, let me put it this way, you can be a good Elon Musk, right? Let's categorize into the good and bad. I tell you why am I saying that. So you can be a good Elon Musk by staying grounded to your roots, right? Let me put myself in the category of Elon Musk, okay? And let me tell you this story.
Yes.
Okay. So I am somebody who is coming from a family who moves from a distant village in Uttar Pradesh, with a dream, with my parents carrying a dream that okay, whatever we did not get, let us try to bring it for my kids. Okay, they do all their hardship. I, as a son, see that hardship. I, as a son, see that, okay, how are they earning to feed me and to take care of my studies and the social well being? I see that, right? I do not forget that. Then at some point of the time, I started growing my career. I get into a good college with those limited resources only, understanding my limitations very well. And I do well. I get some accomplished life, get into a good job. I start understanding the resilience. I went into my passion of speaking, professional speaking. I get into the good stages. I speak, I travel to various countries. I travel, get settled in Singapore. I do all those things, right? In my own limited world, possibly I become Elon Musk of my own, where nobody else in my family has reached. But I still am very much aware how did I manage to get in here? I still remember and stay connected to understand that there were times when my parents did not eat a full meal so that they can take care of my tuition fees and the hostel fees in the college. It's not just to feel good, proud, or make my parents feel good or proud. How does it reflect? It reflects when a person who knows his roots, when a person does not forget where does he started from, when he sees another small kid on a street struggling, he takes that kid on his lap and tries to see that what can I do to make his or her life better. That's how that NGO thing in Pune started, right? That's how that journey from making someone's deficiency into sufficiency has started. So the world is, I'll say the sky is all open. Fly wherever you wish to fly, do whatever you wish to. You necessarily need not to be, if your roots in India, that does not necessarily mean that you have to stay grounded in India. You go France, you go Germany, you go wherever you wish to get settled. But don't forget that where exactly and how did you start your journey, who all contributed, so that if you see an opportunity to make that contribution back to someone's life, you should not be hesitating. You should be excited.
Absolutely. 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 Fantastic. So if let's say with this much of understanding, was there the same level of understanding when you were a kid? Means it's a double-edged question. Like, if not, possibly, what was your regret of staying to the root? Is there a regret of staying to the root?
See, if you will ask me in person, right, I do not have any regret of staying to my roots, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No regrets at all. Because when I in the beginning said I am grounded, because I'm connected to my roots, that's why I feel I'm grounded. But yes, uh, this is a view which people still see, right? And when I say people, because you brought this question, I started to
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
right?
Now the
Otherwise,
camera is on the other side. Yeah,
yeah. So possibly because I saw this thing, right? That a guy pretty much settled in Singapore. I stayed there for like 7, 8 years. Started living a well-accomplished life, taking care of his elderly parents as well. When he reaches back to his roots, when I say roots means my
understood.
my my village and all those things,
Yes,
I I go along with a little bit of comfort, right? What I mean to say is, since I have resources, so I board a chauffeur-driven cab. I sit there with all my items available so that it should be, and it has come naturally to me because I have resources to feed me and take care of me. So when I reach on that side on those routes again, people questions that it is possibly to show off the roots, that how good or big the tree has become. But that's not the intention. That's not the
absolutely,
intention. The
absolutely,
intention is for the tree is to come back to the roots again, be grateful, be thankful, be visual to that roots. Oh, thank you very much. You are the one who made me that tree. But
absolutely.
then the other small trees or big trees around me, notices it in a very different way, saying, "Oh, he's showing it off. He has come to show off the roots again." So that's people's view. I don't care. But since you asked this question, it started coming in my head.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is always other side. It's good to put it on the on it. Okay, let's move on to this thing. Like you have crossed several milestones. Okay, personal and official also. Was there any point in time where you felt that okay, this little achievement, I think enough. I'm happy. Did you ever reach to a point of, I don't know if there is a word called zenith can be referred to this, zenith kind of a milestone where you feel like, this achievement, good. I think this is my purpose of life. I'm happy.
I never said that I'm done. And I will never say, Satish, that I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe that
Yes.
didn't come. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a point where you said, yes, I am done? Yeah.
No, no, no. There was never a point, and there will never be a point saying I'm done. So there are two aspects to it, right? One aspect is being content, right? That's something which I always vie for. That okay, there should be a point where I should be feeling content. I should not be running after everything. That's one aspect of the thing. And the another aspect of the thing is that you were asking about my personality in the beginning, right? There was
Yes.
one word which I forgot to tell is growth. Growth is something which encourages me, makes me enthusiastic, keeps me on a high. Sometimes people feel that I am too much into the growth oriented mode, but I love that,
Okay.
right? So because I love that, and I think possibly the reason could be because I have seen the scarcity side of the things as well, scarcity
Yeah.
of sources,
Yeah.
scarcity of things. But I absolutely love growth. So to such an extent that if I am not growing, I feel that it's a bit suffocating, right? So that's why I will never say done, because I feel growth there is no ceiling for the growth, right? And it could have multidimensional. So growth could have monetary things, growth could have
Yeah.
purpose, growth could have taking my 500 kids to 5,000 and someday to 50,000 as well. That's to me is a growth. So I will never ever be coming up and saying I'm done, and then I will never ever be coming up and saying I want to retire now. So those two things are a strict no.
Okay. Then I think because I have some questions which is coming on the process, not the outcome. Okay, on the process or on the job. In spiritual way, almost like a karma kind of a thing. Okay. But before that, I really want you to take a couple of minutes and tell us about your journey. You have published it, you have written it, and then, it, I have it. I have given a video on it, and I'm sure every single person who has taken that book would have definitely moved on with it, gone into the subject, and you have literally introduce all your family members to us in the book. So when I probably come to your house, you just have to probably give a name so that I already have some visualization of okay, this is how they will be. Kind of right from your in-laws to I kind of feel like I know everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this stage deserves that. Tell us about that.
See, without hiding any fact, right? My journey has always been full of life's ups and downs.
Yeah.
But having said that, I'm absolutely grateful to the God for the journey He has put me in and the life which I have lived so far. Absolutely awesome. The journey, as I was telling earlier, it all starts with an aspiration of my parents to move from a village to Delhi in order to give a better life and a better studies to their kids. That's how the journey starts, right? And my journey is like till class, I'll say till I was in college and doing my master's, etc., etc. Is very much like a normal human being studies. Yeah, I was good in studies, Satish, and that's something which my father recognized, and then he put more efforts on my studies so that I can. He found possibly a spark in me that whatever he was not able to achieve, I could possibly achieve. That was his spark. And when everything was going good, Satish, when I completed a master's and all, and since he was carrying that spark, I was carrying that spark of returning that favor.
Hmm.
Oh, in Hindi, as we say, कि ये बच्चा कुछ करेगा हमारे लिए, the son will do something for us. And my parents are very simple, they come from village, they're very simple. So this is the way they think. So my biggest, I'll say the setback came when I was in that mode saying, now has the time come. It's time for me to give it back to my parents. And then life says, no, 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 no. That's not the time, right? You have to face something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So and that's the age of 25, Satish, when I got diagnosed with kidney failure. And I am not even to such an extent that, right, that I was not even aware what does the doctor writes renal failure. And I asked, what is renal? He said, kidney. I said, okay, what does it do, right? It's normal.
Understood.
We don't
Yeah.
know. So he said, oh, okay. And doctors, generally, right? No emotions. Like
Yeah.
kidneys failed, you have to get admitted to the hospital next day. And he's like, no emotions. I was like, so when he said that you won't be able to survive with your own kidneys and you have to come, and I started thinking, oh, it's way too big. And this one movement which has always stayed in my head, Satish, because when I visited the hospital, it was I all alone, right? And I took the test and went to the doctor's government hospital and all. That one moment, the returning, taking the reports and returning from hospital to home, it's like a 30 minutes drive to the from bus, right to the bus. I think that was the moment which I never forget, because that was the moment I was not aware of how to go back, tell my parents this ordeal, this is something which has emerged. They themselves do not know what the kidneys do and how does it works, and etc., and the impact, etc. Very, very difficult time. I think more than finding out the illness, it was very difficult to communicate it
Yeah.
back to the parents.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that's how the journey started. And I think it went on for those 7 long years. With I saw a lot in those long years. And that time, I was not even aware of the word resilience. Let me be very honest about that. Okay. So I saw a lot of turmoils happening around me, not getting enough on the job, getting neglected for the work, promotions, loved ones leaving us, financial challenges with the mounting, uh, you know, hospital bills, etc. There are people. There a girl I'm loving. She prefers to move on. So what not? So it's very, 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 very difficult. But that was also the time, Satish, that it brought, because this was the perspective I was carrying, right? See, when you get into challenges, when you face adversity, it is the perspective or the mindset you carry towards those adversities defines how you will sail through or you will succumb. So when during those initial 3.5 years of I'll say dialysis and all those medical procedures happening, the focus or the perspective was that this girl left, no financial security. A father's job is a low income. I'm already not earning enough, somehow surviving, mounting expenses, and then people leaving me. Nobody picks my call. People started ignoring. I was just thinking this. But at that time also, there were a lot of things which were happening for my favor, but my perspective was not towards that side, right? So since you asked, I'm telling, I was able to overcome, because then gradually, after a small incident, I started building that perspective. Oh, there are things which are happening good as well, right? There are things which there's a wonderful doctor who became a friend of mine, who is still a wonderful friend. He's like a senior head of the department doctor. He is still a friend of mine. So he was helping me like a friend that time, right? There are people who are stepping up, talking to me, people who are coming and donating blood. I was not focusing. The moment I started focusing, I was started to see life in a different way. Possibly that helped me to overcome my battles, or win my battles rather, Satish. So that's the toughest part of my journey, and that's how I'll also say that also was the part where I built my purpose as well, right? Because that also was the part where I started to go back. I said, how can I told you, right? That was my natural, that how can I help, right? How can I help? I was on a dialysis bed. I used to think, you know, how can I help these other folks who are sitting here and they are very sad? I'm an experienced folk. I'm getting the dialysis done now for 6 years, like 5, 6 years. Very, very difficult process. How can I help these folks? And then I started to go back, and when I step into dialysis, I used to go to their bed. I say, just to make them calm, help them relax, just to make them see a 27, 28, 29-year-old guy getting dialysis done. They are still 40, 50, 60, 70. So they used to get encouraged by me. So that's how the purpose came in my journey. So, and then I think once I understood this purpose thing, once I overcame, I think there is something which, I continuously practice, Satish. It's not that something got built within me and I always carried it along. I think I started seeing challenges in a different way. Whenever it came, yeah, there were setbacks, but I think I was able to recover faster. I started bringing more people in my proximity who were more growth oriented, more positives. I cut down the people who were toxic in my life. They were possibly really good friends, but I saw them as toxic. But and I started cutting them off. I became very, very growth oriented. I decided that wherever I will be able to help, I'll help people. All those things started helping me, Satish, and I think it has helped me. Whatever I did last year to come up with the book was something very, very emotional to me, because you being an author yourself understand this, that to put it in your thoughts is one thing, to put it in your talks is one thing, to bring it on paper in a very structured way is a totally different emotions, right? And it does not come right in the first go itself. So you revisit the emotions. And when your story is difficult, revisiting emotions is very difficult.
Very difficult.
So it helped. I mean, that ways it was a great accomplishment. Giving a talk on a
Yes.
stage in Singapore. I was not a professional speaker then, but I used to love stages. You put me on a stage, I love stages. So giving the talk on the very first time on a stage in Singapore, and people stood up and gave me a standing ovation, was the moment I still remember. It was not a talk full of pauses or the technical aspect, but it was very raw. But I absolutely enjoyed it. So I think those were the moments which I still remember, the happy and the sad both. And that's what I am, Satish.
Absolutely. I think last, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 minutes where you were just flowing. And that is also one of the key parameters of truthfulness.
Yeah.
If you probably scripted this, by heart this, and then you will probably be focused on the delivery rather than the message.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'm sure whoever is listening to this, they will definitely know that everything came from your heart and not from your mouth or brain. So I'm a person who believes in mind so much. So and specifically, Sudhir, one thing what you said, I completely resonate. Problems are not the highest point of misery. To convey that problems to the nears and dears. Okay, you talked about that 30 minutes of bus journey. I think that's the field where a person's emotions will go from Arctic to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have lived that. And I'm not going to put you in the spot again to ask you what all gone through. I'm not going to harvest your misery. But what I'm going to do right now is that, see, there are people who are going through this right at this second. Okay. Whenever people are going to see this, it can be equated to anything. It can be equated to personal life, it can be equated to relationship, it can be equated to business, it can be equated to a contract, it can be equated to somebody got fired, it can be equated to weather. Nowadays, weather is something which like even God is unhappy. I don't know what is happening. It's just everything is so every single puts us into that point of misery.
Yes.
Okay, it's not about, I'll take some hypothetical. It's not about I lost a contract today. The problem is how to tell this to your employees.
Yeah.
It's not the problem of having a relationship in a very bad way. How to communicate, when to communicate. That is the point which my mind goes into because I'm a behavioral psychology researcher. Because see, one thing you could have done is put it under, keep silent. Okay. Because that's how most of people, maybe I would have done, yes, I would have probably just, that doctor will not know
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay, just keep quiet. Okay, how did you win the battle? Is it your closeness to your uh, parents made you to just be very open to you, or was it a sheer understanding that no, I have to get well, there is a life to live? What
Okay.
what went?
Okay. So before I come to that, right, Satish, I just want to say one thing, and this has come out of my own level of research with resilience, right? And that's something very interesting which I have learned. See, it's not the pressure which kills you, or it's not the pressure which takes you down. We put it as a pressure. We say it's a pressure, which against which the person is not able to respond. It's not the pressure. It's the unmanaged response to that pressure that basically puts you on a spot you do not know what to do.
Yeah,
If you put the pressure alone, if you'll
yeah,
say that you keep on putting the pressure, but if you know that how to manage that response for that pressure, you will be far, far better than not knowing and taking on with the pressure. So
yeah.
that's
That is
something.
that is your AAA framework also, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that unmanaged response is the most important. Now, coming to the point that how did I manage to tell, right? See, I feel I always felt this way, right? Or possibly I carried this belief that I am always a communication guy. So even if there will be a toughest of the communication or the toughest of the situation, I'm going to take it heads on, right? So again, you were telling a few things, right? That putting it on the carpet and forget it, and then just ignoring it. It's again that unmanaged response side of the things, right? Of
Yeah,
that pressure.
I'll just cut for a few seconds there because
Sure.
I want to add this word also, which is very, very prevalent right now, which is we all know about FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Okay, there is another thing called FOFO, fear of finding out.
Yes.
Okay, and I am a guy like that. Okay, I am a deep FOFO victim. Okay, fear of finding. So please go ahead. I think this is a word which made me to ask this question also.
Right. See, I'm as I was telling about that other thing, right? How did I tell my
Yeah,
parents this thing?
yeah,
See, this is for the viewers as well, and the
yes,
audience, right, as
yes,
well. That I see you cannot win a situation or a battle or even the adversity or the contract loss or whatever you want to call it by running away from it. You just cannot. And if you don't trust me, just think, for 5-10 minutes and give yourself a little bit of me time and think. Had you run away from that situation, would it have been easy? Sometimes it could be, but that alone cannot be the solution. And that
yeah,
same applies to the communication as well, right? Not telling something which is needs to be told won't solve the problems. See, um, Satish, you also run a lot of companies, right? As we were discussing earlier, we see a lot of leaders, even in today's world, unfortunately, who avoid the difficult conversations. The moment it becomes difficult, they prefer not to step up, they prefer to avoid, they prefer to sugarcoat, they prefer to put a butter and then say, absolutely wrong strategy. You cannot avoid a difficult situation just by running away from it. You have to face it and see the difference. Once you face it, once you speak about it, once you tell them, see how you feel. You have managed that response of the pressure, which I was telling a bit earlier, right? So
yes.
I possibly did it for my parents because I was absolutely clear in my head that there is no way that I am not telling them and sorting this out, right? Possibly I was not knowing these technicalities. I was very young to know these things that, okay, I have to tell this a difficult communication. Today I can say all those things. But at that time also, it was a thing that this is something which I have to tell them because they are the ones whom I trust and they have every right to know this so that we can handle the situation better together. That was my whole intent at that time, Satish.
And I want you to talk about your framework. I think this is your resilience framework, and talk a little about your book also. I want you to connect that, because when I was actually reading that framework, there are some outcomes which is something which deeply touched me. One is, of course, the thing about resilience per se, a deeper understanding of resilience per se. The other thing is your framework. I'm not sure whether it was written from the perspective of being applied for a business owners or something like that, but I find it really matching to be up on personal transformation.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that framework will match the scope of this particular broadcast also, because personal transformation, resilience is not a pillar.
Yes.
Okay, resilience is actually the foundation.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I transform I tell people saying like, oh, I fought it, I fought it, I fought it. No, that is that is your foundation. Win will come only once, failure will come always.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
pillars are your skills, but resilience is your foundation. Yeah. So I would really love to hear from your mouth your explanation on the framework.
Right. So, and just to tell you, because you touched the business aspect as well as the personal transformation, both, Satish, this particular framework fits in on both sides. This
Absolutely, yes.
fits in even to the organizational level as well, right? The
Yes.
bigger umbrella as well. So if you're talking the personal transformation, so let's talk about that. And
Yes.
the framework called I call it R3 framework, and it has three R's basically. So the first is your readiness. I always show it this way so that people should be able to relate, right? The first is the readiness, second is the response, and then third is the recovery. Okay. I People generally think, Satish, and that resilience is something which basically gets built once your adversity comes in, how you are responding to it, how you're able to overcome, how you're able to sustain and blah blah stuff, right? Which is okay,
Yeah.
because once the challenges comes, you have to stay
You
resilient.
have to. Yes.
But if you say that it is only getting built once the challenges come, I I do not agree to that.
Yeah.
My way of thinking is that you can always be prepared, not to 100%, not to the exact, right? It's kind of a simulator which you are building. When the real challenges comes, how you should be able to do that, right? So my framework says that you can always be ready for that. Now, how can you be ready for something, right? So if in the technical world, if you will see, if there is a production thing which is supposed to go on to production, then you will test it a net number of times into the smaller environments, right? So someday you will definitely be facing adversity,
Absolutely.
Satish. Someday
Absolutely.
you will definitely be facing challenges. Someday you will definitely be failing in front of public or in alone.
Absolutely.
It has to happen,
Yeah.
no matter who you are, right?
Yeah.
Then the point is that how can you be better prepared for that?
Yeah.
Thing is, that comes into the readiness aspect, that you prepare yourself with the smaller challenges, you prepare yourself to taking on that challenging task which you are avoiding for so long, in terms of kids as well, right? That how
Yes.
can we make them resilient? So when you we as a parent have a tendency to appreciate our kids whenever they succeed. You win a trophy, very good, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. You came first, second, or third in the class, awesome. You never
Yeah.
appreciate failures. You never appreciate the effort, even if they fail, right? Who
Yeah.
does that? No,
Yeah.
not many, right?
Yeah.
Those are the readiness which you are building in a kid, to be ready when he fails in public. He knows that, oh, if I failed, there was still appreciation. Oh, I felt good, I failed, but still somebody made me feel good, so that i
Yeah.
should i should be ready for the next one, right?
Yeah.
So that's the readiness, even in the personal aspect, right? Even let's say you are working in a small project. If let's say in a small organization, you just joined that organization, take that small extra challenging task which you feel you might not be able to do, so
Yeah.
that once that adversity comes in, you once that bigger project comes in, which you never saw, which you never imagined, which you became a leader and now you have to take on, that how those small challenges helped you build that mindset. So that's readiness, that how you can prepare. Next definitely is the response, right? That once those adversity comes in, that how exactly do you respond to that, right? Because, for example, in the professional speaking world, we say, Satish, that it will not always be rooms will not always be full. There will not always be the
Yeah.
standing ovations,
Yeah,
right?
there will be empty chairs. Yeah.
There will be empty chairs as well. So that's where your response basically will be getting tested, right?
Yeah.
That's where basically you will be getting tested, that okay, how am I showing up my resilience? How my mindset is, right? How you're able to stay calm under the pressure. That's
Yeah.
your response. Are you able to stay steady when things are not going wrong? Things are going wrong, basically. It's not going in your favor. That is the response which everyone talks about. One very important aspect, Satish, and I can go more deeper in the response, but I think in the interest of time, I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
getting in. But one very interesting aspect is the recovery, which nobody talks about, Satish. Everyone says
Yes.
that you stay in the hustle, do not give up, stay grounded, fight, show your courage, be brave. Nobody talks about that you have to recover as well, to show that courage, to be brave, to stay grounded, not to give up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's very important that you come back, get your juices back, get your energies back, and then go back and fight again.
Absolutely.
So, and that recovery need not to be very big recoveries. It need not to be those grand Indonesia or French vacations, right?
Yeah.
It need not to wait till
Yeah.
weekend as well.
Yeah.
Those,
Micro moments.
yes,
Yeah.
those recoveries are the moments. Those recoveries are the people like you whom we can talk and, for just 5-10 minutes and bring our energy back, just be on the same wavelength and come back and start fresh. Those recoveries could be talking to your kids,
Yes.
spending time with your pets, going back to your NGO, giving it back to your kids. Those recoveries could be as small as that, like just stepping into a coffee shop with a book in your hand and spending 15 minutes with a sip of coffees and your favorite two paragraphs. Recovered.
Recovered. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
recovery is very important for you to fight longer, Satish.
Absolutely, absolutely. I loved it. I really loved it. That's why I said that, the transformation aspects, when it fitted into personal transformation, it was just perfect. And just to talk about failures, I'm not sure how many organizations are doing it, but I learned it from friends like you. In 2012, we had a very big fall, and we recovered. 2015, we are on board, and we were bigger than that now. But from 2013 onwards, just after our biggest fall, we had to recruit a lot of people. I started training. One thing which is still doing, I'm doing it in all my organizations right now, is how to fail. This is a training. All other trainings I'll send my people to outside, but how to fail is
Yep.
something which I personally take for, right from this, fresher till vice president, CEO, CXO, whoever it is. um, this was inspired by one of my very close friend. I'm not sure whether it is his quotation or he picked up from some other. You know, he said one thing which is still there in my heart. He said that, Satish, never lose an opportunity for a wonderful failure.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, why? He said, it will teach you decades of experience, okay, in just one incident.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So from that minute onwards till today, I still remember, when I'm talking, I still remember the echoes of his words, which is coming to you, and how nicely you put it, the way that, the recovery is also very important. Yes, that's the second thing. You know about that. I'm a person who, I'm a joy ambassador.
Mm.
So I make sure that my team enjoys every single micro moments of our success. I don't care about big success, which is going to come after 1 year. I don't care. If we
Mm.
are able to do something good today, it has to be celebrated now.
Yes.
not tomorrow. Now it need not be a very big celebration. It can just be, job well done, thank you. Okay. That is a different issue. The reason why I'm explaining all these things is now I'm going to put you on a chair where you have beautifully explained right now. To if at all you have to go back to Sudhir in that hospital or in that bus to explain this framework to you, to that person. Two questions. Number one, will they understand? Let's say yes, they will understand. How will you probably put it like a step by step for people to understand your framework in the minute of the highest stress? You understand, right? During the highest stress, this does not work in the way that
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where the resilience of inner resilience come into picture.
Yes.
So whatever the explanation you gave for 11 minutes was wonderful. But if I am under tremendous stress, it will go like this.
Yes.
So
Yes.
give me some baby steps. I think this is not covered in your book, but I'm going to take the baby steps out of you. Give
Yeah.
me something which I can go put it for the person who is under tremendous pressure. Give me the resilience Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. So I am actually very eager to answer, right? I was getting restless when you will end up this question so that I can answer.
Done. Great.
So in that case, right, you said absolutely correct, Satish, that when we are under tremendous amount of pressure or the stress, or if there is an adversity, right, you don't expect that people will be following frameworks. Okay, let us be honest to ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
So see, there are two things to it. One, it's very important that let the person feel the pain because it is paining, right?
Yes.
You hit something. For example, I hit my knee to the corner of the bed. It is paining. It's
Yeah.
a natural phenomenon to pain. Let the person feel the pain because I have got hit and you can't stop the pain immediately, right? Let it be felt. Let it be absorbed. So that's one. And on the framework perspective, Satish, I will actually start reverse because that's not
Recover
the
first.
yes,
Okay.
that's not the point wherein you will be saying, oh, how well are you responding? Oh, you have to stick on, you have to fight, all those things to me is nonsense. The person is already sticking on.
Absolutely. Yes.
The person is already doing whatever in his or her capacity he can do best, he is doing. What he needs is not your gyan. What he needs is basically is the real way of coming out of it, right? And how we can make it happen is just as simple as that. If I have to go back to the Sudhir who is sit or who is lying down on a dialysis bed some 15, 16, 17 years ago, I will ask him to go back, have a sip of coffee, have a cup of coffee, read what you wish to read, talk to the people whom you wish to talk to, right? Give them a call with no purpose. Don't think that it will help you to come out of your pain. No, no, no. That's not the funda here. Funda is do what you wish to do, which actually diverts you from that particular situation to something of a happier movement, right?
So that's recovery first.
That's the recovery first. Don't worry about the readiness and all those things because now the readiness will your readiness whatever is getting built here will only be is getting built only for the next challenge. There is no readiness which is happening right now. There can only be a response and recovery. There will only be two things, right? You are only getting ready for the next one. We will see that next one later. But for now, let's better the response, let's better the recovery. And first and the foremost thing is the recovery. Just before this podcast, I just want to touch base because you asked very important question, and I was just watching a small video just before this podcast, and I just want to tell it to you and to the viewers as well. So there was this professor in some of the class. He was holding a glass of water. He filled that normal glass with water, and he carried it like this, and he asked to his class that you tell me what is the weight, right? What is the weight of this a glass full of
glass
water?
of water. Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody said like 100 grams, 200 grams, 250 grams, and
Yeah. They just predicted something.
yeah. So they predicted, and the professor said uh, the weight is, the weight of this particular glass of water is how long do I carry it as it is. So if I carry it for, let's say, 2 minutes, small glass of water, it is, my
Easier.
mind won't say anything.
Yeah.
It's very easy. I
Mhm.
carry it for 2 hours, my hands will start aching and it will be a pain.
Yes.
I carry it the same glass of water for one full day as is, my whole
Trembling.
of the shoulder will get numb and I'll start feeling, you know, it will be like a paralytic kind of a thing. So the glass, the weight, and everything is same. It's just matter that how am I holding it. Why am I telling you is this? If I am keeping this perseverance, the so-called grit on for the whole day, saying, okay, I have to fight it out and I'm on this mode of fighting it out, I'll start getting numb and there will be more pain. Let the hand be down for some time, let it do the activity which it is supposed to do, which it enjoys, right? And then let come back and hold the glass of water again and get your fight be continued. So that's what I want to say, sir.
Absolutely beautifully said. And anybody who is actually watching this, if you're an entrepreneur who is like, who has already seen ups and downs, I think you will feel Sudhir's this example or Sudhir's that professor's example much relevant to your marketing and contract negotiation. If your contract negotiation is going on and on and on, okay, this is exactly which will happen. It will be like a smaller tumbler in your hand for 2 years, 2 months or something like that. So I I really feel that it can be adapted to the problems what we have. If we are
Yeah,
carrying a problem, stress, anxiety, how much are you going to carry it? If you are carrying it for a longer period, it becomes a big ghost.
yeah,
Okay. So I think you beautifully said. And with this perception and personality, I think I want to go into the standard segment which I do with every guest, which is like I will ask 7 questions. Okay. Um, it's a long form research. It's a standard 7 questions which I ask with all the guests online and offline also.
yeah.
And last week we have completed 11,500 entries for this particular, but we will be consolidating after 25 or 30,000 entries because this is going to be named as human archive because we are entering into you are an AI expert. So we are entering into a segment where the responses of the future generation is not coming out of free will. It will not
Mhm.
come out of a free will. We call that as cognitive terraforming
Mhm.
here. So this research is going into cognitive terraforming because this will say that how a human being thinks and responds. Okay, we
Okay,
call it
okay.
as human archive.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, so it is not a big how to say, it is not something which is like I'm going to put you in a situation. It's a very simple question, and the only one rule is don't give me explanation.
Okay,
Okay, just give me like keywords
okay.
which can be connected to do something like a cloud in a percentages. So give
Fair
me,
enough.
it can be 100 keywords also, not a problem. It should be
Okay.
bulleted.
Got
Answer
it.
should be not subjective, should be objective.
Perfect. 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 Got it.
So my first question, who are you when nobody needs anything from you?
Happiest person.
Okay, perfect. My second question to you, what part of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice?
Communication.
Okay,
Advices.
okay,
Walk the talk kind of person.
okay,
Yeah, I think that's it. Because other thing people notices.
okay, perfect. My third question, what became stronger in you when life hurt you? You have answered it, but still.
I I became stronger when life hurted me, and I think I don't need to explain, but to me, it's my personality, mindset, resilience muscle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And my fourth question, what ordinary moment in life feels extraordinary to you?
Spending time with kids, sitting in a coffee shop just between me and my book and a cup of coffee. You can call it my me time.
Okay.
Taking window seat on a flight or on a train with my book in a hand with nice views and helping others to the
Absolutely.
extent I can. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. My fifth question, what silently disappeared from your life as you grew older?
The hairs.
That happens. But believe me, it's not a unique answer. I'll tell you.
No, it might
Yeah,
not
it
be.
may probably become the topmost answer also. So yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something which came immediately. Because you asked silently disappear, right?
yes,
Uh, Large number of friends. I mean, there are very few now, but those
okay,
are the good ones, right? So large number of friends as well.
okay.
And yeah. Mm, shall I tell you something which I feel
Go ahead.
because I stay in Delhi, I feel fresh air is another thing which is silently getting disappeared.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, it's a question to kindle your mind. So whichever comes, everything is no right or no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Future generations should know right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So what my sixth question. What kind of human connection do you think the world is starving for right now?
Compassionate, empathetic, and the most important, intentional,
Okay,
which I Hindi mein I called bhavanatmak, intentional.
okay. Intentional. Okay, perfect. And last question, my favorite question, because this is one question which makes people think after the program. Okay,
Mm.
so the question is when everything else is removed, whatever coming to your mind, your education, your family, your friends, um, achievements, your book, whatever, okay, delete everything. When everything else is removed, who are you?
And this is I'm telling with a lot of deep thinking and intentional soul who is here with a purpose to contribute to others. I mean, that's the way I'm thinking. And there could be many other flavors coming out if I go more deeper. Satish.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will, it will. So that's also one form of long because we have some captive research participants. So we have been asking this question for multiple years right now. Currently, we are entering the third year right now. So first year they will answer. 6 months later they will answer the same question. 1 year they will answer the same question. 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years. Their answer also varies.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
their answer also varies. That's the beauty of long form psychological research because we will be able to understand a big spectrum of emotions, big spectrum of trait based reconnects, and whatever you called about the roots
Yeah.
in the initial. I'm so happy it just came. We started with the roots and we are ending with the roots
And
also.
roots. Yes, yes. That's
I,
the
I
beauty of roots.
yeah, I think that way it is beautiful. I I think like this went on beautifully well, and you your closing remarks.
I'll close it with the same statement which you said, right? It went beautifully well. It went beautifully well because you actually asked very beautiful questions, Satish.
Thank you.
Since it's a conversation, and if you ask the right set of questions, you get tend to get deeper and you tend to get the right set of answers, right? So there's a book also called The Questions Are Answers, right? So what exactly are you asking is actually the source of what exactly will you be getting.
Absolutely.
So wonderful, wonderful experience. It's a wonderful experience, Satish, that I am able to answer certain questions going very deep, and they were not prepared and planned. Let me also tell this to audience, right? They are something which is, the questions are very spontaneous, and it made me think, and that's how those root things comes up. That's how
Absolutely.
answering that 25-year-old Sudhir lying down on a dialysis bed to go back and tell him that stay resilient, how to stay resilient, answered with that recovery thing, right? So awesome. I think I absolutely love.
You kind of, I'm not going to leave you without this question because this, in this entire interview, I'm not sure. One of the words which you kept using because that's your favorite is books. Okay. It just occurred to me to ask you what a book does to you. Is it a silly question?
You better ask what a book did to me, right? Because that's how, because book is the source, right?
What should I ask? I should ask what book
What a
did.
book did to me. Because whatever I
Yeah,
am
that's what
here.
I'm asking.
Okay,
What a
okay.
book did to you.
Okay. So, Satish, if I am sitting here answering you these questions, a book is the starting point of all those things. It has not started from a YouTube movie or a channel or a watch or a talk show or something. It has all emerged once I started reading books. I started understanding that, oh, when I started seeing unconsciously the journey of the other people when they put it up so beautifully into the books, that that's how things are. You have to give me a while, else my laptop will go. Okay, so give me a moment, Satish. It's battery going. Is
Yeah,
that okay?
absolutely not an issue. We are almost in the end only. Even if it goes, I've taken everything, whatever I need from you. So not an issue at all.
No, but I just want to complete on the books side, Satish, because I'll take the. You're able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So the books is something which has made me. When I was saying that I cut down a lot many of toxic people and the friends around me, at that the same time I was adding a new friends which were basically books.
Books.
I read a lot. They
Lovely.
were the ones who were guiding me when I was in the challenging situations, right? It's not that the dialysis was end of the road. A lot of many challenges I felt I've got after that as well. So books are my dearest of the friends. And when I wrote that first book, I actually got that feeling, wow, it's a different feeling to be an author after reading so many books. So to
Absolutely.
me, books is
I'm
like
going to
awesome.
talk very fast because one more question I want to ask. I think this is going beyond my planning, but that's good. It means that we are talking good. What will be your next book?
My next book, there are two aspects I am thinking. One is towards the compassion, which
Yeah.
is a huge role towards the resilience, because people have a misconception that resilient people are always very tough. And the second is I'm thinking around the amalgamation of the human intelligence and artificial intelligence with resilience. So that's something which I'm basically thinking around.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for sharing all the knowledge. Thank you so much for giving us an entry into your wisdom. And thank you so much for giving what the next books are. I'm really waiting for it. And my prayers for the 5,000 target for the NGOs. That's going to be my priority number one, being a person who I am. And one thing which I will always tell before I end the show is don't look at what missed. Don't look at what is lost. Always look what remains. Okay. And with that, I thank Sudhir. Thank you, everybody. And always be happy, always be healthy, always be loving, and always be ever smiling. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Sudhir.
you so much, Satish. Thanks a lot. I will always remember that always notice what basically remains, because that could be your growth journey, and that's where your growth can start from.
Absolutely. That is my signature. No talk. That is my signature. concept for almost like 2 decades now. What
Yes.
remains? Just ask a question, what remains?
Yes. Very, very
Thank,
thoughtful.
thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Satish. Thanks for having me here. Thanks a lot.
You too.